Good day, good people, and welcome to another episode of Property Talks. And I am your host, Kanya Lumkwana. Now, on this second episode, we unfortunately don't have a guest. There was somebody that I planned to bring on the show, but they unfortunately couldn't make it, and due to time schedules and stuff like that, we couldn't get around to meeting in this week. So I thought, rather not releasing a video, I would just tell you guys a little about myself, which will just be 2 minutes of talking about myself. And I'll tell you about some of the things that I've learned in the property game, because I haven't been long in property. I think I'm going on my second year now. Yeah, so I've been I've been in property for about a year and a half. Yeah, a year and a half. So anyway, my name is Kanya Lumpwana, as it says. I am Kanya, that property guy. So my background is in journalism. I studied journalism at CPUT. I have a diploma from CPUT for journalism. And then I worked after that at CTV for about 2 years, where I was a video journalist. Yeah, so I was a news anchor at some point. Started as just going out to stories, and did some camera work, editing, and then I was a news anchor just before I left. But the property game was something that I'd always it was at the back of my mind, because I always say, like, deep down I'm a business person. I'm a business person. I remember growing up, I used to think about what job that I'd be doing. When I was in primary school, I would ask. I thought it's the president that got paid the most. So then I wanted to be a president. But prior to that, every child grows up wanting to be a doctor. So I wanted to be a doctor. Then I met Maths, and Maths was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Okay." So then I wanted to be a president, because if I'm running the country, that seems like a good job. Then I found out, no, actually, the president is not even running the country. It's something called the government that's running the country. Then I was like, oh, the government, yeah, the government controls everything. I was like, oh, okay. Then I want to be the government. That's what I wanted to be. I want to be the government. Then I grew up and I learned what it actually means, because I thought the government is just one person where they walk in his office, they're government, and the government like, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do this. Then I as I grew up, then I started noticing, okay, it's actually business people, that get to not control, but like that get to, how can I say, live their best lives in terms of their own freedom, their own time, and stuff like that. And that was appealing to me, to be able to control my time, to be able to not worry, about the financial aspects of things. And looking at it as a child, you think it's gonna be easy. I'm just gonna go into the field, I'm gonna be successful, and bam. But then you grow up and you see challenges, and it's not as as it seems. So anyway, then my love for business, when I was in high school, that's when I said I want to be a businessman, because I want to have my own free time. I want to be able to control my time. And it doesn't start like that in business, because when you're starting out, you really don't have time. You don't have your own time. You're really starting out as a slave. But the end goal is, I'll have my own time. I'll get to the point where I have freedom to decide, no, I can't do that. No, not that I can't, but I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So anyway, after high school, there were many careers I considered before that, and then I leaned towards real estate, because I remember there was a time during grade 9 or grade 8 when my family was moving around a lot. I think in that year we moved to about 3 or 4 houses, because what happened was we initially moved because we lived in Kailicha. Then we moved from Kailicha to Kells River because I had gotten a school this side, and it just made sense that the traveling up and down and stuff like that. So they just moved us to this side, because my father worked in Belleville, and then my mother, she worked in Kailicha, but so she could travel because she had a car. So anyway, we moved this side, and my father loses his job during that year, so we can't buy the house that we just entered in. So then we have to move out. So then in that time, we had to rent a few places. Then a year later, my father gets his job back, and then and then we're looking for a place to buy. So like I remember there's times when we'd go and look for places, and I remember like seeing like it's one lady that stuck with me. This lady, she was driving Mercedes Benz. She was driving Mercedes Benz, and then I was like, then they were like, she's a real estate agent. You know, my parents were like, she's a real estate agent. And then I was like, okay, real estate agents out here living life, eh? Okay. That's when I considered property. I didn't know anything about it, but like I knew that I like houses, I like property, like looking at them, like being able to walk around them, whatever, like, you know, admiring them. And everyone loves, okay, not everyone, people like me, probably guys, we love, beautiful spaces. So anyway, that was my first thing where it dawned on me, like, actually I could, do this too. Like, I'm interested in this. And then a couple of years went by, and then I had another interaction with another real estate agent who was a very nice guy. Real estate agents are generally nice people. I don't know if it's the commission or what that's doing this to them, but they are generally nice people. So like, I meet another guy, his name was Eugene. And Eugene was also a nice guy. Like, I'd see him a lot because he also lived in Kills River. He sold the house that my parents and I were living in. So that I'd see him a lot and I'd greet him and stuff like that. And then I told him, I was like, Gene, like, tell me, what do I need to do? I need to study to become a real estate agent or what? He said, no, you don't need to study. After grade 12, you can like you get a license, get a car, and then get a company that's willing to take you under. I'm like, really? Like, yeah, it's that easy. Okay. So then I met a guy. His son lived in the area. So this guy, he has a real estate company in, was it Durbanville? Yes, Durbanville. Old guy. I just forgot his name now. So he had a real estate company in Durbanville. His son lived in my area in Kills River, like just on the next street, yeah. So I spoke to him and I told him, like, I'd actually like to go into this, because I like business and stuff like that. I explained it, we clicked, he liked me. He offered me the job without me having a car, because I said to him, I'll get like a VUCA or something, a bike, so I'll be able to travel, blah blah blah, and all stuff. And back then it's not that long ago, because I'm not that old. I'm 25 years old this year. But back then, I think real estate agents, they took the people in them in their cars still. Now, like, people travel with their own cars to show houses and stuff like that. But back then, you would travel with the agent in the car. But like, I was like, I don't know whether the client's gonna travel, but I'm gonna get a VUCA to go to appointments and stuff. So anyway, the guy agrees. I get home. At home, they're like, you are going to varsity. And then I couldn't even, mention the fact that I'd gotten this job as a real estate agent, because their mind is made up. I'm going to varsity, and that was the last say. So then I end up going to varsity. I study journalism. Love journalism. Journalism was great. It's one of those courses where you are taught how to think rather than just being crammed, information in your head. Anyway, I said this would take 2 minutes. I work after studying journalism. I work as a journalist. I enjoy it, but it's not what I thought it was. It's not. I entered the field being very naive, as most people do, and like it was as much as it was fulfilling, and like you get to help people and stuff. It's wonderful. It's great work, but the internal parts of it, it just wasn't what I thought it would be. It was, and I thought if it was like this at a small scale, then how would it be like in a bigger scale? You get what I mean? So then I thought, nope, okay, let me just step out. So then I quit my job in journalism, and I quit my job in journalism looking for another job in journalism, but a higher paying job, even though I still have this sense of where it's not what I signed up to be. But I told myself, I'm not going to be doing it for long. I'll do it for now and see whatever I can do. I was gunning for a job in marketing, getting a job in marketing with my journalism diploma. So anyway, I get another job at a call center after a month of being unemployed. I work at the call center for, it's about 2 or 3 weeks. I quit the call center, and I'm at home, unemployed. I was at home for about 3 months when I'm in the street talking to a friend of mine who came to visit me, and then I see this small Mercedes-Benz, a two-door. I don't know car name so much. Two-door Mercedes-Benz is driving around. It passes us. It goes past, and on the door it's branded, a real estate agent, whatever. It passes us, and I look at it, catches my eye, and I leave. I'm still in conversation with my friend, and then it comes around the second time, and then I stop it, And then when I stop it, I greet the lady inside. It's a lady, and I tell her, like, how do I get into this? I would like a job into this, and she's like, I'm actually looking for interns, so you can come through for a interview. And I come through for an interview, and here we are, bang. And that's how I got into property. Yeah, that didn't take 2 minutes, but I'm sorry. So I'm in property, and then I need a car, because as a real estate agent, it's very important that you have your own transportation. But I don't have money for a car, so I've gotten the job. My parents are not convinced, and they don't like it because it's commission based. There's no basic salary in real estate as an agent. So then I invite my boss inside one day when she's dropping off some papers to talk to them, and they talk. They will get along. My father's very supportive. He's always been easy go guy. My mother only changed her mind when she saw my boss's car outside, and she was not driving the same car that when I met her. She was driving another Mercedes-Benz, even better Mercedes-Benz. And then my mother was like, okay, he's going into this, and then that's how it happened. And I got a loan from my parents, 20,000 loan to buy a car. I have a cute little thing which I call her Baracup. It's a polo player. It's a cute little thing, Baracup. I love it so much. I love it because it's my first car, so like I love it. So anyway, that's my story into property, and it's very tough. Like the mental gymnastics I had to do entering property was wow, because I didn't think it would be as hard as it was. I get into property in November. I think November 2019. Yes, November 2019, I get into property. I don't have a deal, nothing, no deal, no house for 7 months. I get nothing. Okay, all I'm doing is I come to the office on some days, because you have the freedom to come to the office. Some days you don't come to the office. I come to the office, I chill, make coffee, and nothing to do. I sometimes would shadow, would go with my boss, follow her around, drive with her, or one of her colleagues, but like I have nothing to do. 7 months straight, I have no deal. And man, I'm starting to think I've made a mistake. Like there's no deal, nothing, and I'm getting slightly depressed, but I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it as much as I can, because my thing is this: like, you said you wanted property, Kanya, and you are here. It's not gonna be easy, okay? And imagine what a beautiful story it will make if you stick it out. And I have to motivate myself each day, you know what I'm saying? But with the people around me, I'm telling them I'm fine. No, things are great. I'm good, you know what I mean? So 7 months go by, I get my first deal from a friend of mine, and that's how they say it usually starts. You get from this warm sphere of people around you. Get my first deal for a friend of mine. His mother-in-law is selling their house. I signed that deal. But it doesn't sell. So I signed that I have a property. I take people from viewings. They come see that, potential clients. Some love it, some don't. But nobody buys the property. And I have the property for 6 months, and it doesn't sell. Nothing. Okay? I get another property. I think this just before November, so just before a year. Get another property where I'm given by the company this property to market, because it's an open mandate. Open mandate means anyone can work on the property. So you get 3 types of mandate. Okay, I'm gonna get into that real quick. Let me just finish this. It's open mandate, so I get this property, and then I go take like pictures, make a video, and then I put it on Property 24. I get a person who's interested, and then that becomes my first sale, and I sell that property. That becomes my first sale. On that first sale, I stood to make 17,000 if it was mine alone, but I ended up making only 8.5 8,500. That's the only thing that's the only amount that I made from that sale. Okay, now to just briefly explain what is this term mandate, what it means. So you get 3 types of mandate. You get a sole mandate, which is what every agent wants. A sole mandate is when I go to a property, they say they want to sell the house, and I say to them, okay, let's sign a contract that says I will exclusively sell your property. It's only Kanya K Real Estate Group that will sell your property. No other agents. For 3 months, we'll market your property, only us. That's a sole mandate. It means only one company or one agent is working on that property. And then you have a joint mandate where it's a partnership between two agencies. So the seller can say, look here, I know somebody at K Real Estate Group, I know Kanya there, I want to give him half, and I know somebody else at this other property group, and I want them, so I want you guys to work together on this. So then there you can either say that you're splitting the commission, whoever sells it, you're going to split the commission, or you can say it's a first time, what is this? The first one to sell it. Yeah, you can say it's the first one to sell it who will get like all the money. So winner takes all. Then you get an open mandate, where the open mandate is it's open to everyone. Every agent can come there and like work on that property. It's an open mandate. So basically that's open mandate. So if it was a sole mandate, I would have stood to make 17,000 would have been in my pocket. But since it was an open mandate, and how open mandate usually works is a person that has a sole mandate can decide to either have a joint mandate or open mandate. So this person, the sole mandate, they couldn't sell it, so they made it an open mandate to other agents, with the clause that says that if one of the agents sells it, the agency that held the sole mandate will get 50% of the commission. So that's what happened in that case, where I ended up getting only 8.5 instead of the 17,000. So it was a little bummer, but like I was just happy to get my first pay, even though it took almost more than a year. Sales. I didn't have my glasses on the first, that's why I don't take off my glasses. Is it good then, man? Can you? No, like, is there like, there must be space out between my head and the screen, is it okay?
It's like so much space.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
That's better though.
Okay. What does I say? Okay. So good people, that's the difference between the 3 types of mandates.
Hi Kanya, how are you?
Cindy, please. It's just 5 minutes.
Sorry.
5 minutes.
Sorry.
So good people, that's the difference between the type of mandates there are. So if you are either selling a house or buying a house, and the agent mentioned these words, then you have an idea of what it means. So at this point in my life as an agent, I'd say it's going good, but I'm what you would call a struggling agent, in the sense that I don't have that many deals, that are coming in to maintain, how can I say, my daily needs or my monthly needs, or like the bills and stuff like that. But it's truly better than what it was in the beginning, because like in the words of like Moses, I can see the promised land, So it's not as bad as it was. It's been a truly like eye-opening experience. It's been a learning curve, like on a lot of things. Not just the property space. There's a lot I didn't know about property. There's a lot I didn't know about how the banks work or how credit works, and I'm still learning. But like the type of context that I've type of people that I'm surrounded by in the spaces, because I'm talking to bond originators, I'm talking to lawyers, I'm talking to principals. And principals are called. I'm talking to real estate agents who have been doing this for a long time. Principals are actually the people that are running agencies. So it's basically the boss of an agency firm. Yeah. So they're called a principal. And like there's just it was overwhelming at first, but like I'm embracing everything. I'm that little kid who's just happy to be here. Yes, I'm happy to be here. Yeah. So I touched on who pays an agent. We only get paid commission, no basic salary. The seller pays the agent. So if you are selling your property and you call an agent and say, I need you to list this property for me on Pro24, do the marketing, handle the schedule for the viewers and all that stuff. You as the seller, you are the one that pays the agent, because the agent is representing you. It's your asset. The agent is representing you, and he's the one, you know, protecting your property, and he's, you know, so it's you. There's a different types of percentages, you know, that agents and agency firms, they work on. It's not the same, you know, across the board. Some go for 5%, which is what, you know, I work with, and then there's some who work with 3%. There are some who work with, but like the one that's most common is the 5% and going up. 5%, 6%, 7.5. Yeah, those are the percentages that are most common, you know, with real estate companies. So the seller will pay the agency from the proceeds of the sale. So once the house is purchased, and then they will pay. But let me just walk you through the sale process quickly. Let's say you're a seller, you decide to sell a property. You call out an agent and you say, I want to sell this property. The agent walks around your property, looks anything that might need to be fixed, the condition of the property basically, and then he'll go back to the office and he'll draw up an appraisal to more or less determine, you know, how much you could get in the market for that property. Also, what they'll look at what the properties in your area or in the street are selling for. So like they have the same plot size as yours and stuff like that, and how much do they sell for? Then, you know, and then based on the municipality records, then they can give more or less a valuation or an appraisal of how much you can get from the market. Then after that, you list the property, you'll sign a mandate depending on whatever you and the agent agree on, whether it's a sole mandate, joint mandate, or an open mandate. Then he'll take pictures and all that stuff, and then he'll list it on Pro24. Then the potential buyers and clients will send messages to the agent that, you know, I'd like to come view, I'm interested. So a lot of agents, what they'll do is, if somebody's interested, and this is what I do as well, because it just saves petrol and time. What you'll do is you'll tell the person that is interested, okay, have you done a pre-approval? A pre-approval basically tells us that if the property that you say you're interested in is 850,000, the pre-approval, which the bank will do, or through a bond originator, will basically tell us that you qualify. So the bank is able to give you 850,000 or more, that you can afford the property. So it's no use me taking you to see the property, but you only qualify for 500,000. Do you get it? So that's where we save time and petrol, because petrol is expensive. And how do you get pre-approval? So as I said, you speak to a bond originator, or you can go to the bank. So what they'll need from you is a 3 months bank statement, 3 months pay slips, and your copy of your ID. Then they can give you pre-approval to see how much you qualify for. You know, and I'd also like to encourage you, even if you're not at the place now where you think that you can get a property, if you are permanent, it's just for you won't lose anything by just doing, you know, a pre-approval to see how much you would get at this point in time. Even though you don't plan on, you know, buying a property now, just go see how much you could stand to get, and what does your credit score say, and things like that, so that you can work on that, so that by the time that you're thinking that, okay, I'm ready to buy a property now, when you go and do it, and then they come back to you and say you need to fix this and this and this and this, it's pretty discouraging and disappointing. So if you do it now that you're not planning to buy a property, then you know where you stand at least, so that when you are ready, it's just all stations go and you can give Kanya a call. Hey now. So after a pre-approval and it's clear that, you know, you qualify for the property, the agent takes you through, shows you the property, explains whatever surrounding the property, and then if you like the property and you say you would like to put in an offer, and then the agents will have to sign an offer to purchase. So offer to purchase is basically a contract saying that you are interested in buying this property for this amount. It doesn't have to be the 850,000. You can say, I have 800,000, and They'll sign that, and then the agent will take that to the seller. Then the seller can either decline or accept that offer to purchase. Okay, so then let's say the seller accepts. What's the next step? We take that after the seller has signed it. We take that to the bond originator. Then the bond originator will be going to the different banks, sending that offer to purchase through to get you the best deal. So the best deal is basically at the least in interest rate, the best interest rate whatever bank can offer. Then when that deal comes through and they say that you've got it, they take that and then so it gets approved, and then we wait for what we call a final grant. After we get a final grant, it says the bank says yes, we are giving this guy money, and we take that then to the lawyers, and then the deal will be with the lawyers for approximately about 3 months. Yeah, 3 months, 4 months, give or take, where they will be doing, I don't know what they're doing, but we'll have a lawyer on the show to explain what it is they are doing in that 3 months. So they'll take it about 3 months. Then the lawyer will hit you up and say, okay, we are lodging your deal now. What does lodging mean? Lodging means they are taking that deal and they are putting it through to the deeds office they're putting it through to the deeds office in order to change ownership of the property. So it's being changed from the seller to the buyer. So if the seller is Kanya and the buyer is Cindy, and then it's been changed from Kanya to Cindy's name. And at the deeds office, it usually takes about 3 to 5 days, but I recently had a deal where it took about 8 days, 8 to 10 days. So it depends what's happening at the deeds office, how long it will take. So give or take 2 weeks. Then at the deeds office, we are waiting for the day when registration happens. Registration is the day each agent lives for, because registration means we are getting paid, okay? Which means the deal has gone through and you are going to be rich for 3 days. For 3 days, usually for 3 days. And then after that, the house is sold. When registration happens, the house is sold. So let's say, for instance, registration happens in the morning at 10 o'clock. Then you communicate with your sellers, hello, but you say it in a nice way, it's not your house anymore. So you need to, vamos. And they technically need to leave the same day, so a few hours after registration, but based on whatever you agreed upon on the contract between the seller and the buyer, that's the agreement. So you can say, like, usually it's the same day. When registration happens, they leave a few hours later. So that's why when the lawyers tell you we've lodged, you should be telling, you as the agent, you tell your sellers that, okay, everything should be in boxes now, we're getting ready for registration. So any day can registration, and then you need to be out. So that's the sales process in a nutshell. That's the sales process in a nutshell. I don't know what else I can tell you. I think I can share this here. One important thing when either selling a property, actually, one important thing when looking to buy a property, one important thing is location. It's very important where the property is located. The size of the actual property itself might not be so important. The condition of it might not be that much important because you fix it up. The location, though, it's very important where you buy a property, because a property is an investment. But it's not everywhere or every place where you buy a property where it's an investment. You get what I mean? So you must be very careful where you're spending the money. Yes, depending on how much you qualify for from the bank, what job you make, it puts you in certain areas already. Depending on how much you get at the job and how much you qualify for from the bank, it puts you in certain areas where you can say, I can buy in this area, I can buy in that area. I can't buy in Constantia, for instance, because I can't afford that. But like whatever areas that you can buy in, make sure you look at where your property is located. Not just the area, but like where it's located. So for instance, is it close to transport? Is it close to like a shopping center? Is it close to maybe garages and stuff like that? Like, is it close to schools? That's another big one. Is there schools nearby and stuff like that? it's very important, because you might see a house in a certain area and you might look at the house, it's a 2-bedroom house, and you might think, no man, this house is too basic to be selling for this amount. But it's not the actual house that is selling there, it's the area. It's the standard of living that you're getting in that particular area. So it's not really about the 2-bedroom house that you see, it's not that cute. It's about whatever's happening around that area where the property is situated. So that's my 2 cents for today. I hope you learned something. I hope there was something that, that I gave you, even though I know it was just a lot of stories that I shared today. But yeah, man, that's so the whole point of this YouTube channel is to share information and get you to a point where when you are busy buying that first house, you know these terms. You can ask questions, relevant questions, where you are not just agreeing to whatever the agent is saying. So we'll be bringing through lawyers, we'll be bringing through real estate agents who've been doing this, we'll be bringing through principals, we'll be bringing through, we already had a bond originator with Bjorn, which was wonderful, but we'll bring in more bond originators because there's still a lot to cover. And yeah, subscribe, share the YouTube channel. This is information that you should be getting, because at one point you want to buy a house and you need to know this.